An essay on the way. Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm the Amastorian. Now I'm here with another essay. As I promised, this one is gonna be on Vlad III Basarab. And I gotta say, beforehand, I fucked up this essay, or rather I fucked up my degree on it, because I did not really read the assignment properly before I started, and therefore I got a bad grade on it, but that was entirely my own fault. So what are you gonna do? Yeah, I'm gonna blame myself for that. So let's get to it. The year 1431, in the city Sigoria, there was a man born that was going to be a legend already during his own lifetime. This man had a tragic life, a name that far after his death still invokes fear, wonder, disgust, and pure terror. Likewise, he is in his home country seen as a folk hero, a name that is associated with loyalty, law obedience, and protection. This man's name was Vlad III Basarab. Does not ring much of a bell for people, but his nickname and his acquired, not so much nickname, but name-calling name might do. Vlad Dracula, or Vlad Tepes. If we start to reasoning out what this is, Dracula, or as Vlad himself wrote his documents with, Dracula, means literally the son of the dragon. His father, Vlad II Basarab, was voivode of Wallachia and member of the Dragon Order, which was devoted to protecting Europe and Christianity from Islam. Vlad II Basarab was therefore called Dracul, which means the dragon, because of his membership in the order. His son, Vlad III Basarab, was proud of his father and his devotion to the order's cause, and titulated himself Dracula, meaning son of the dragon. Dracula can be translated son of the devil, purely linguistic, but not in context to history and the context of the social reasoning. If we take the other part then, Vlad Tepes literally only mean Vlad the Impaler. This is from Vlad's favorite method of execution, a sharpened stake through the body. There are many stories about how he's supposed to have executed people right and left for very small deeds or misgivings. Many are probably not true, while others might be. Vlad II Basarab was a vassal for the Ottoman Empire. Despite his membership in the Dragon Order. But why was he that if he was devoted to protecting Europe from the Muslims? Well, it's pretty simple. Vlad Dracul, Vlad II Basarab, was not an idiot. He was a very devoted realist. He knew that if Wallachia was supposed to go to war against the Ottoman Empire, they were screwed. They had no chance of winning. So he became a vassal and paid tribute to the Ottomans instead. And he was forced to pay a tax on every person in the whole of Wallachia that was Christian to the Ottoman, and he bided his time. 1442. Vlad was 11 years old, and his brother Radu was 9 years. Then something crucial happens for the two brothers. The historical sources disagree on the details, but the main thing is the same. Vlad and Radu are exchanged to the Ottomans as hostage for their father's continued obedience. 1447, Vlad Dracula is murdered and Vladislav II becomes voivode of Wallachia. Vlad is now 19 years old. But this time that Vlad is spending in the Ottomans' captivity is, according to me, completely crucial if we're gonna understand what happens later and why. Unfortunately, the historical sources here are almost completely silent. But we can make some assumptions and pure guesses based on Vlad's and Radu's later life and doings. I'm here gonna indulge in pure speculations, as I although based on my education as a mental caregiver, a sort of job that's not sorry, but that education and job does not translate well in English, so this is I'm here sticking out. It doesn't translate well, but that's what it means, mental caregiver. And a working life with humans and my knowledge of the human psyche. I've studied psychology for 3 years, so okay. To be exchanged for political safety must have been an emotional shock. Also, here can be said a strong foundation for Vlad's later problem with trusting other people. Later in life, when Vlad goes to war against the Ottomans, he does so with a great knowledge of the Ottoman and war machine. This knowledge he could not have gained as a captivity. A nobleman in a golden cage is still in a cage. He must have gotten it from the Ottoman army itself. A fact that the historical accounts partially strengthens is that Vlad's own brother is leading the Janissaries in an attack against Wallachia. Although Radu is Radu is an officer among the Janissaries, and exactly that Radu is officer in the Janissaries is, according to me, completely crucial. Because of that, we can do pretty many assumptions. But first we gotta reason out who or what were the Janissaries. The Janissaries were the Ottomans' elite force of heavy infantry. They were consisted solely by turned Christian boys that were taken from their families by the age of 6 to 15 years old and were turned to Islam and trained to be a very professional elite force. These boys were slaves to the Sultan, as you cannot, according to Islam's teachings, keep another Muslim as slave, then they instead kept the Christians as slaves. The Janissaries were very fiercely loyal to the Sultan, and they were even the Sultan's personal bodyguard. But how do you get a Christian boy in the 15th century to become a Muslim and become fiercely loyal to the Sultan, the man that ordered that you should be a slave? This is where I gotta do my guessings. We're gonna have to preconcept that Vlad and Radu were trained to be janissaries by the Ottomans, because so that one of them could become a good vassal to the Ottomans, which Radu also became. So how could that have come to pass? Well, this is my theory. Yellow markings are my own theory and my own guessing. 1. The Ottomans takes boy in the age of 6 to 15 years. This is a very important detail, as in that age, great parts of the own identity and the self-image is being placed. If the Ottomans can influence this process, then they have succeeded right there alone. 2. Repeat of dogma and often and recognizable. If they constantly grind in the stuff that they want the new recruits to believe, they are building up trust and recognition and a sense of security. 3. Punishment for dislike or for non-like-minded thoughts. Punish anyone that doesn't think like they want, that the Ottomans doesn't want, want. Bad translation here. Okay. And punish the other recruits around the one who made himself guilty to not being according to what the Ottomans want. Damn, that is a bad break. Oh, I'm sorry. This creates a feeling of responsibility that the guilty one gave the other recruits problems, and a form of self-punishment, as the recruits themselves probably will punish the guilty one by excluding him from the social community. Examples for punishment that could have been used is verbal correction, lashing of the foot soles of the feet, lashing of the back, starvation, thirst, extra labor, and so on. Any punishment that is given can, although not give any physical means after the punishment is done. A soldier does not have full control over his body or full capacity is not an elite soldier. One punishment that could have been used, that it has discussed if Vlad was subjugated to, is sexual assault, as founded on his fixation on impalement. If Vlad was raped as young, this could have done something with his mind and given him a sense that he needed to revenge on something that he sees as bad as the ones who raped him. It could even be a way to send a message to the Ottomans. This is what I think of what you have done to me, and this is what I think of you. Impalement was a punishment used in the Ottoman Empire, so we can learn it that way. Also, or it could be a combination of both. 4. Encouragement. Any form of favor should have been used to encourage to the Ottoman positive behavior. For example, loyal statements, success in training, memorizing prayers, and so on. Different examples of favors that could have been used are encouraging words from the officers. More food, better food, sweets, new or better weapons or armor, clothes, rest, drink, money, or free time. These points together could explain why the Janissaries were so successful in turning the recruits loyal to the Sultan. But that doesn't mean it has to have gone this way. As we don't know exactly how it went, we are simply gonna have to guess. But it is extremely important that we are aware of that it is a guess and not hard fact. But if we are agreeing on that we are going from this point of view, how could then Vlad stand against this brainwash? I think a major reason to this can be seen in his own chosen title, Vlad Dracula, Vlad the son of the dragon. He had something that was pretty unique for a child of 11 years, namely a strong and stable self-image. Because of that, Vlad is choosing to title himself with this, says that he's proud of his father and his father's membership in the Dragon Order and his purpose and belief. That was a part of his own identity. When that self-image was so strong, the new image that the Ottomans wanted to imprint on him got no foothold, and the brainwash therefore failed. Although, according to me, it's obvious that he did not left the Janissaries without scars on his psyche. And this is where I'm gonna leave you for this time, and I'm gonna get back to you with the rest later on. Bye bye! Thanks so much for watching. Like and subscribe.